Hey, in this video, we're going to be talking about some trade rumors. I do love this time of year for that reason. Trade rumors are my fave. We're going to be talking about Buffalo, Vancouver, Chicago, New York Rangers, the Vancouver Canucks, Seattle Kraken, a whole bunch of stuff. So stick around. Hey, thanks for watching and tuning back in if you're returning. And if you're not, thanks for tuning in to Ducks Hockey and More. Go down, subscribe. I need those subscribers big time. So, hey, let's jump right into this. We're going to talk about the latest trade rumors that I've been reading about as of today, which is Tuesday, January 30th. Erik Carlson. Let's just jump right into it. Erik Carlson, San Jose Sharks. A lot of buzz about Erik Carlson. Can teams afford him? Is he going to be moving out of Chicago? Is he going to be moving out of San Jose? Are teams willing to pay the price for an Erik Carlson? And I think there are, but it's a hefty price to pay. So it's like buying that big investment or that car you really want, but you just don't want to spend the money. That's how he is. He carries a hefty price tag. So you really got to be willing to give up a lot to get him, right? But Erik Carlson has 66 points, okay, in only 51 games. This guy is having a career year, leading the way in the Norris Trophy, root standings, if you will. So Craig Button, okay, who's an NHL insider, he has been talking and mentioned Carlson as a potential landing spot in Buffalo. Like Carlson going to Buffalo. Think about it. Makes sense because Buffalo has a need for a right-handed defenseman, okay? And they're at that point in there right now with, where they're almost a playoff team year after year after year. It's taken them a long time to get to this point, but they're finally there. And so now, you add a couple of pieces, like maybe a Carlson, especially on defense, and a solidified, really good number one goaltender that you can rely on. And I think that the Buffalo Sabres will be a playoff contender year after year after year for a while. But Carlson going to Buffalo is interesting, and interesting trade for sure. And Buffalo, look, they've got the cap space; they can make it work, and it makes a lot of sense. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Probably not. Most trade rumors are just rumors, and so they never pan out. But it's something to think about. Carlson playing in Buffalo. Another player, one of my favorite players, John Gibson, the goaltender for the Anaheim Ducks. I feel like he would be a good fit for the Buffalo Sabres. John is one of those goaltenders I don't want to leave the Anaheim Ducks. He's just too good. Okay, he wins games for the Anaheim Ducks big time. So I'd hate to see him leave, but being that we're in a rebuild, the Ducks are in a full rebuild, John Gibson, he's 29 years old. He's in his prime right now. He's probably got about 5 good years of, maybe 6, of good hockey left in him. Really good hockey, okay? Prime time, in his prime. After that, if he's still healthy, he might play on to close to 40. Who knows? But Buffalo could use a John Gibson to solidify that net presence and give them that consistency that they need in net, especially going into the playoffs every year, which is where it seems like they're headed. So, not only for Buffalo is that good if John Gibson were to go there, but John Gibson himself, he deserves to win. He deserves to have a chance to be a playoff goalie, show what he can do in the playoffs, and potentially maybe go after a cup, and you never know. Maybe Buffalo's on their way there, and in the next few years, they'll be a contender. Who knows? But I think that Buffalo and John Gibson would be a good pairing. When you look at what Buffalo currently has on the goaltending side of things, they've got 3 goalies on their roster: Craig Anderson, Eric Comrie, and Luukkonen. Craig Anderson's 41. I don't see that guy coming back next year. I didn't look at his contract, should have, so I'm not sure if he signed to another season or not, but he's 41, okay? He's at the end of his career. I'm surprised he's even still playing. But he's got respectable numbers, 8-6 and 2. He's got a 2.73 goals against average and a 918 save percentage. So that's respectable. It really is, especially for somebody at his age. Eric Comrie, on the other hand, okay, one of their goalies, not so much. He's 27, so he's right there where he's in his prime, but he's 5-8, 5.80. He's got a 3.54 goals against and an 884 save percentage. So nothing to write home about. On the bright side on their goaltending is Luukkonen. He's actually 23. Okay, so he is like potentially their future, and it could be like a Luukkonen Gibson combo, which would be pretty bitchin'. He's 13-5-2. Okay, he's having a great year. 3.26 goals against average, and he's got a 900 save percentage. So his goals against and his save percentage aren't the greatest, but he's got a good winning record. He's a young goaltender. So you add in a John to that goaltending tandem. Not bad. Not bad. I like it. Anyway, so there you go. Moving on from the whole Buffalo thing, Seattle Kraken. Okay, the Kraken, a lot of rumors out there about the Kraken maybe interested in Bo Horvat and, other things like that. Even adding a defenseman, okay? Now they've been linked to Ryan O'Reilly of the St. Louis Blues. Ryan O'Reilly's been linked to several different teams, Toronto being one of them. But now the Kraken are in on Ryan O'Reilly as well. I know they're also in on Bo, so who knows? I think they want to add a good center to solidify that position for them going into the playoffs. And so now Ryan O'Reilly is now on their radar. He's a great two-way center, as I mentioned before. He would do well in Seattle. So would a Bo Horvat. Both those players would do well in Seattle. The way this Seattle team is playing, you add any one of those two players to that team, and they become a legitimate contender. They really do, especially in the West, because the West is kind of weak overall compared to the East. I think that gives Seattle the best chance to make a really deep run by adding a legit, like a Bo Horvat or a Ryan O'Reilly. I really do. Anyway, so that's the latest out of Seattle. In Vancouver, obviously the Bo Horvat stuff. He's the most sought after guy right now.
Hey, wait a minute. Get out of here, will you? Come on, man. Get out of here.
Hey, interrupting this special video, we got breaking news. Bo Horvat's been traded. Oh my God. He went to a team that nobody would have expected, but Bo Horvat is now a New York Islander. The Vancouver Canucks pulled the trigger, sent Bo Horvat to the New York Islanders for two different players, okay, and a conditional first-round pick. So they're getting two players and a conditional first round for Bo Horvat. More details to come in the next video, but I wanted to get it. Hey. All right. I'm getting out of here. Breaking news, though, okay? Bo Horvat's been traded right now. Okay. And now Thatcher Demko has been thrown in there. Okay, Thatcher Demko may be for, up for a trade. I think the Penguins would be the best landing spot for him, and I'll tell you why. Yari has injury issues this year, but he's still a good goalie. Once he's in healthy and he's playing, he plays very well for Pittsburgh. He's just got to stay out of the injury part of things and stay healthy. Whereas Casey DeSmith has had inconsistency issues all year long. Okay, so take a Thatcher Demko who hasn't done all that great in Vancouver, might have a whole new Demko fresh start in Pittsburgh, and that gives you a pretty good 1-2 punch having a Yari and I say Yari, it might be Jerry, but it doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about. Those two as your 1-2 punch goaltenders, not bad. Okay, not bad for if Pittsburgh. It makes sense. So maybe he ends up in Pittsburgh, right? The other Vancouver player that's linked to just being traded is Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn, I think there's a lot of teams that would like a Luke Schenn because he's a big guy, he's a physical guy, likes to hit, and he's a good shot blocker. Okay, Luke Schenn's a good defenseman. And so there's a lot of teams I think that are I have a feeling Luke Schenn's going to be moved. I really do. But anyways, the Calgary Flames are the latest team that might be interested in adding Luke. So, just add another one to the list. So come trade deadline, it's going to be fun. It really is. It's going to be fun. So Flames fans, Luke Schenn. Another one the Flames are targeting as of late, at least in the rumor, is Vladimir Tarasenko of the St. Louis Blues. Tarasenko is not going to be a Blue next year, so it's likely that the Blues are going to want to move him and get something for him. And so the Flames are now interested in Tarasenko. He would fit right in with the Flames, actually, and he might give them that added boost they need to, if they make the playoffs, which they more than likely will. Tarasenko might be that little missing piece they need, and that extra scoring punch they need to help them, offensively. Top 6 winger for sure, and I think that makes a lot of sense. For the Flames, though, I have a feeling what they'll have to do is send back a roster player to make it work. So to free up that cap space to bring in Tarasenko, the Blues are probably going to have to retain some of his salary as well to make it work. So Blues are going to hold on to some of the salary. The Flames are going to send back probably a roster player. That's if this even happens, but they got to make room on the cap on their salary for a Tarasenko. So player going over there, a current roster player that's making decent money, going to the Blues. Tarasenko goes to the Flames. Blues retain some of his salary. Everybody's happy, right? So anyways, yeah, because he carries a $7.5 million cap hit right now. So anyways, that's the latest in Calgary. And then I've talked about it before in previous trade rumor videos. Patrick Kane and the Chicago Blackhawks he's probably not going to be a Blackhawk come next year. He's going to be moved, but where's he going to go? Well, I've talked about it. New York Rangers seem to be the highest and most likely destination and landing spot for him. But New York's going to have to give up a lot to get him. Chicago's going to want quite a bit for Patrick Kane. So when you look at what New York Rangers have to offer, okay, the two names that come up are Kaapo Kakko and Alexis Lafreniere. So that's a lot to give up. Now, they're both 21, okay? They just haven't lived up to where they were drafted in the end. Obviously Lafreniere was number 1 overall, I think, in 20, but they haven't lived up to those draft spots. You know what I mean? When you're drafted high, there's an expectation that's there for you. You know what I mean? So, and neither one of them have really lived up to that yet. But they are only 21. So what does New York do? Does New York decide to say screw it and move away from him and go and bring a Kane in? And Kane's got at least 2, maybe 3 years left of him, really decent, years left in him. Or do you just say screw it and you hold on to him and hope that maybe they develop and they're just late bloomers? Who knows? You know what I mean? But I have a feeling to get Kane, if he does end up going to New York's going to have to give up at least those 2 players or one of those players and a number 1 pick, maybe something like that. So we'll see. But hey, there you go. There's the latest on the trade rumor side of things. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. I talking trade rumors this time of year is one of my favorite times of the year because of the trade deadline and because of all the buzz around players getting moved and who's interested in who. It's great. So comment below. Let me know what you think. Disagree, agree, and I will definitely get back to you on that. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, if you're visiting the channel for the first time, subscribe. Thanks for watching it this far along, and I will see you guys really soon.